I'm Richard Devaney, the Bacala Professor of Strategy at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College. I'm here today with Nick Akins. Nick is the President, CEO, and recently elected Chairman of the Board of American Electric Power Company. It's the largest utility in the United States, the largest power transmission player and generator. Nick has been speaking with us today about his company strategy. Let me start by asking a couple of questions. The first one is, you are in the middle of a major transformation of the company. Could you tell me a little bit about what your vision is and what the old vision for AEP was?
Yeah, Richard, the nature of our business is changing dramatically, primarily due to technology. It's changing across the board in many respects, from the customer side all the way to the generation side. In the past, we've been very focused on generation technologies, the environmental side of things as well, in preparation for the EPA rules that are coming down as well. But we changed our focus in terms of the infrastructure development side of things. We want to make sure our business changes from looking at generation, transmission, and distribution silos to more focused on what's truly a passion for employees around customer experience and the development of the grid and the infrastructure needed to support the multitude of new technologies and the preferences that our customers may have.
I understand that you're a big guy on execution. This is your belief that strategy is execution. So tell me, how are you going to execute that? What kind of missions have you set up and mechanisms have you set up in order to make this transition from the old-fashioned, fully integrated, from mining to customer utility to your new transmission, distribution, and service focus?
Richard, it's definitely a focus on prioritization of the business. As we look forward to infrastructure development and technology development, the customer experience and the employee experience, it's very much focused on the avenues and the processes we put in place to ensure that every employee feels that line of sight not only to what our shareholders are expecting, but what our customers are expecting as well. So we have several different tracks. One is the cultural changes that need to exist. You mentioned the autocratic nature of our business. We need to be open, collaborative, and entrepreneurial. So we're really focused on the activity of ensuring that our business sees that communication, but every employee experiences that kind of culture. So we've engaged the Sin Delaney process in that from an overall cultural standpoint. Then from an infrastructure development standpoint, we've focused on the prioritization of capital investment on those areas that provide for growth of our business, but also improves the customer experience around grid resiliency, grid optimization, to ensure that we're able to connect different types of resources and respond to intermittent resources like solar, wind, and ensure that we're cleaning up the environmental footprint of our company at the same time. And then also, we focus on the activities associated with our unregulated generation side to really make that a business that we defined a floor for our investors that provides an upside, but also trying to take the volatility out of that business. So if we're successful doing that, then we'll have a business that investors can look at with a degree of clarity, understand where the business is going, where the priorities are, and see that we're acting and executing on those primary motivations we have in place.
The grid is changing a lot.
Yes.
It was a place where it pushed electricity to people, and that's all that it did. But something's changing now, and could you help us understand what's changing and how that's changing what you have to do and what new competencies you need to create?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're seeing the information technology side of the equation coming into play, where customers are making decisions about not only how they want to use electricity, but what kind of resources, what kind of technologies are in play at their disposal. So we're looking at it from the customer side of things, and we're looking at it from the utility side of the meter, so that we can make sure we're as efficient as possible, that we provide the connectability for customers, and and that we're able to advance the notion that any part of the country makes different decisions about the resources. We accommodate that and make our company grow in a very real sense, because infrastructure development, when you think about grid security, when you think about certainly from a cybersecurity standpoint, but also the infrastructure itself related to transmission, the movement of renewable resources to load centers, those are the optimization practices that need to occur in a business that historically has had very high types of growth rates from a load perspective. Well, today that doesn't grow near as much, but from an optimization standpoint, the growth from a shareholder perspective can be quite good.
Where do you think the future is going to be for your company? What's going to generate the most shareholder value?
I think it's the utility of the future. I think it's those areas where, if we're deploying capital in the right spaces to ensure that we're maximizing recovery and maximizing return on equity, we'll be able to provide continuing shareholder value. We can only do that, though, by focusing on the customer and the expectations there, which is different depending on which state you're involved with different geography, different culture. So we have to be responsive to that. So we have an operating company model that we use that really tries to drive a line of sight from the regulator to the way we actually spend capital and ensure that we're spending on the right things, get the regulatory recovery we need, and by virtue getting the earnings expectation that we desire. So it's important for us to match all that up from nuts to bolts, and we do that.
You spent 31 years with AEP, and I guess you've seen just about all the different aspects of the business. How has that affected your vision for the future, your ability to execute, and your personality?
Oh, I think it provides tremendous value, because to experience multiple parts of the business, and the book Execution did mention this, that you really need to have someone who knows and understands the business that they're making decisions about. And I believe that having the experiences, and certainly from the social experiences involved, being able to interact with a frontline employee to the governor in the evening, you have to have that kind of breadth in terms of interpersonal skills, but at the same time have the business acumen and the experiential type of activities you've been involved with, so that you understand the nuances of where the industry's going and where you can take the company. And I think that provides tremendous value.
Nick, thank you very much for the time that you gave to us, and thank you,
Richard,
for doing the interview. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your generosity.